Yo, what's up? So we just got the preview for Ulpianus today, right? You guys seen it? Window. Alright. So like I predicted, guys, skill 3 can be manually deactivated, and it does. He does return to his original position when it ends. Was I too loud? Am I too loud right now? So let's talk about how good or how he would be in general. Alright, so I've done a little bit of translation, so let's take a look at the Excel here. Right, so Talent 1. Every time when Ulpian takes damage, he heals himself. So every instance of damage he takes, he heals certain HP to himself. When his HP is below 50%, that heal number would further increase. Skill 1. Skill 1 is like it's like a drag skill. Not looking into that too much. I'm most likely going to take a look at these two skills, skill 2 and skill 3. So let's speculate the actual stats, the actual numbers. So starting from Talent 1, so this is, how do I say it? This is definitely a survival based one. So we're gonna add in here a survival talent. This is very obvious that a survival talent. So every time when he is about to lose HP, so barring all those life HP loss, so this one is going to be very very similar to Lessing, which we just talked about. So it's likely that all damage in the game is going to give him, so it's going to proc himself to heal himself. So this is good. This is good. How many or how much HP he's going to heal himself? From the wording, it's most likely going to be fixed numbers. Okay. So it's most likely a certain number. So let's find out how much it will be. So my approach likely is going to still use Holdra as a reference. So Holdra, let's think about it. He has 18% or 21% Sanctuary, right? So for, let's use the Hound again. So I'm going to look into PRTS again in case I'm wrong. So let's see. This one. So this dog, it has 380 attack. So let's say both of them are being bitten by a dog which has a 1.5 seconds attack interval. So Excel here. So when he takes 380 damage from the dog, he only takes 79% of the damage, right? Because of the 21% Sanctuary. So that's 300 for him, which is about like 80 damage negated, right? So let's give the same thing to Ulpianus. So let's say Ulpianus is going to recover 80 HP every time he takes any damage. To be honest, this is already pretty good. So heals this amount. This many. Oh, how do I use this even? Oh right, it's going to have to be like this. Heals and then this is a little complicated using Excel. Where's the N here? Heals this many HP to himself. This should work, right? Alright, heals 80 HP to himself. And then when he's above 50, below 50 HP, so that's going to be more. So if it's this in this way, both Holder and Ulpianus is going to have their respective, in a certain way where they are better, right? So Holder is obviously better when he's against hard hitting and then slow attacking enemies. For example, the rock golems. Rock golems have 3,000 attack, right? So each hit is going to straight up 3,000, right? 3,000, but he only takes 79% of it, so that's 700, like 630 damage negated. So he's better against these high attack but low attack, slow attack king enemies, right? But for Ulpianus, he is better when he's attacking enemies with high attack frequencies, but with with faster attack intervals. So for rock golems, their attack interval is 7 seconds, right? So their DPS is 300-ish. For dogs, if it's a 380 attack dog, so each they are going to deal 1.5. So their DPS is 253. It's not that away. They have pretty similar DPS. So, but for Crushers, they definitely fear this kind of fast attacking, lower attack, because all the attacks are true damage to them. 80 HP, I think, would be pretty good. So he would be like, if the enemies are not too, just doesn't kill him fast enough, chances are that he heals himself pretty fast as well. But this is just speculation, and I have no idea how much else, how many more he should heal himself. I don't think it's going to be, percentage based. It's most likely just number based, because if it's percentage based, it's just too OP. It's just too OP, mate. No chance it's going to be. Also, when there are, HP minus debuffs, this talent is going to be pretty strong as well, because the healing amount doesn't get affected. So that's pretty similar to how Reapers works. So how many should he heal himself with when he's low on HP? Actually, no idea. Let's say 120 maybe. So these are speculations, okay? And can't really put it into perspective right now of how it will be, good or bad. Maybe we can do some mock-up speculations, but there's really no point in that, right? Okay, instead Okay. Double would be too much, right? So if you think about it, this is all depending on how fast your enemy hits you, right? So for a dog, you know, so again the 380 attack dog, and then his DPS is is 353, and you are so every time he bites you, you also heals, right? So your healing HPS is this as well. So it's just 200 DPS from this dog, right? So if you think about Hodera is like, that's exactly the same, right? Because I designed based on his stats, but basically he's going to reduce the enemy DPS in that way. Can't say if this is going to be good or bad, but it makes it very clear that, you know, Hodera is the one who take on high damage, slow attacking enemies, but Ulpianus is better on clearing, so better than him on clearing mobs. But we all said, you know, the thing about Crusher was like, when they when they take on the grunts, it feels like they are taking on bosses. But when they take on bosses, it feels like they're taking on grunts. You get what I'm saying? This is the thing about Hodera, right? He takes on bosses like it was nothing. You see in my showcase video where he just solos both of the knights from the Maria Neural event, right? When they take on bosses, it's as if they are taking on grunts. But when they're taking on grunts, it's as if they are taking on bosses. That's the thing. That's the thing about Crusher, at least about Hodera. And you know, I kind of sense it that Ulpianus is trying to do a different design. So it's more based on how fast he's being hit, so that it naturally gives him an edge when enemies don't have very high DPH but have faster attacking, have a shorter attack interval. Then he can heal himself up pretty well. But it's likely that it's likely to be the same as Hodera. He just can't function without medics. It's just not practical to expect Crushers to operate without, you know, healers, or at least for Ulpianus to just operate on himself without things like medics or Gladia, right? Alright, so what do you guys think about this? You guys still think it heals percentage? 80 heal per hit feels a little too low. Yes, maybe. I'm not sure, because it's kind of hard to say, because we've never had this kind of talent. I can think about it, but 80 was too little, right? Maybe, but I don't see it going over like 100, because that kind of feels like too much, right? So if it's 100, see, 100. So he's this is hard to tell just from the numbers, because it depends on who you're up against. 100 is fair, I guess. 100 and then 150 maybe? That could work for me, but it's hard to tell. It really is hard to tell, because we've never had anything like this. Do we? 1% HP heal. So how much is 1%? So they got about, what, 7,000-ish HP. 7,000, 1% to 7,000 is just 70. That's too little. And if you think about it, when you're up against like max HP debuffs, then if you only have half of your HP, then you are healing just 40 per hit. That will make this talent feels like absolute garbage. Just think about it. I just don't see it being percentage to max HP is too weak. It's very good in daily, but it's hard to tell. But from the wording, I'm going to tell you from the wording, it's most likely that it's going to be a fixed amount. Because it says certain HP, but not certain percentage of HP. So most of the time when the wording is like that, it turns out to be, fixed stats. This was the case for who? Let me think about it. Who got a talent like this? I think it was pretty recently. Who was it? Was it like it's kind of comparable to Logo's talent. So he's increasing the damage by a fixed number of 163 instead of certain percentage of his attack. That feels more like it. Is it impossible that it is percentage based? I can't say for sure, but to me, it's more likely to be, fixed amount. So let's keep it here. So I'm going to keep these two numbers, 100 HP, and then so what do you guys think? 100 and 150. $80 per hit. 80 per hit was pretty good, guys. 100 per hit is very, I won't say very good, but without actual practice, I'm not sure. But you think about it, all kinds of damage can very likely to be. Are we back? Are we back? Okay, since we're back, so what do you guys think? So when they take Arc Skill 3, they take very similar damage. For Ulpianus, if it's 100 per hit, it's going to be 6,000 damage. And then for Holder, it's going to be 5,925. What do you guys think? I'm going to start a poll. How about this? Can I start a poll? Right. What will the HP recovery be? So either it's fixed number or it's max HP percentage. What do you guys think? My take is going to be fixed number. Alright, so let's keep it here first. Let's move on to the other skills. Skill 1, I don't think I'm going to speculate about that, but what's Holder's number? Holder's skill 1. What's the number? Let's see. Holder's skill 1 is 260%. So if you think about it, he has to swing 3 times. So that's 7.5 seconds for 1. But for this kind of skills, so judging from the description of this skill 1, it's more likely to be manual. Auto recovery. It's more likely auto recovery. So likely a 7 or maybe 6 SP skill. For Gladia, it was 4 SP, right? For Gladia, it was 4 SP, but that was but she was a Hope Master. My take is 0/6 SP skill with. Alright, so I'm gonna put the stats here. My take is that. Oh my god, this is hard to tell. I'm just going to go with 250. It was fine, right? Oh, but Holder also will recover his HP. This skill doesn't have HP, but it has a pulling that I'm not sure if I would like, if I would need it. So how about I bump it up to 300? I don't know. It doesn't really matter, to be honest. But okay. Alright, let me link to that first. Oh. And like this. Alright, 300. Yes, Gladia has 210, but she was not a damage dealer. For him, his damage dealer. This skill doesn't give him pills. Pulling in the enemies, I'm not sure if it's very impactful for a crusher. So I'm going to give him more aggressiveness on this. So my guess is 300%. Doesn't really matter. Also, Gladia deals increased damage. I'm not sure. I'm just not sure what this skill. What's the meaning of? What's the implication of this skill to a crusher? Why do I want to pull people in for an attack? It was kind of like a resemblance, almost a resemblance of Gladia. This is definitely a skill that it's not gonna see much uses unless you want to do Shifter Knights in guard, which okay, I'm going to skip this one real soon. All right, how's the pull right now? Wait, we actually are kind of 50-50, 57 and 43. Okay, I guess I'm gonna stop the pull here. So the result is 55% fixed number and 44%. That was pretty even, I'd say. So I guess we will have to wait and see. 100 and 150. You know, when the damage, so when the DPH is high, so for example, for all these golems and stuff, it was good. I mean, Holder has the upper hand because percentage-based Sanctuary was better for those skills. He's negating more damage. But if you think about it, this is 100 HP. This is 100 HP that applies to all damage, right? It applies to physical damage. It applies to arts damage. It also applies to true damage, most likely. And if you think about arts damage, you know, for a 500 arts damage, it got reduced to 400, right? So 400 divided by 500 is actually equal to 20 resistance. That's 20 Sanctuary, right? That's pretty high. To be honest, that's pretty high. And the lower, so if you guys haven't realized already, arts damage tend to have lower DPH, right? I don't think there are a lot of elites or even bosses that deal very high arts DPH. How about we go and watch the guys that take away your gramophones? What are they called? 东陵血雾. What damage do they deal? 500, 200% of 500 attack. How about their advanced versions? This one. 2.5 times of 650. This is probably the highest arts DPS DPH that comes to mind, right? So for them, 650 times 2.5 times. That's a lot of arch damage. So how, if I heal 100, you know, how many resistance does that equal to? 7 resistance. Okay, so same thing. The higher the DPH, the more advantage Holder has with the Sanctuary compared to Ulpianus fixed HP recovery. But so overall the conclusion was like Ulpianus is better on dealing with, that makes him better at dealing with fast attacking enemies. Right? I think overall that's that. The Holder is good at tanking high DPH. Ulpianus is good at tanking high DPS. Maybe. But that's because when you talk about DPS, it was DPH divided by attack interval. So it has two factors that you have to consider, right? So it's kind of based on what enemies is up against again. So let's still take a look at skill 2. What's skill 2 about? Activated, of course, he block 1, so he had block 3, attack 3. Talent 1 also effect increases. Not sure if it's based on time. It's most likely increases to some times, so to a certain times. I'm going to make it a. So how many times this amount of X? Right, I think that would do. How many times? So if it's like this, 2 times. How about 2 times? Or 1.5 times? That would be 150 HP for every hit that he receives. That's kind of huge. Guys, don't forget he has a talent effect increase in his skill, which is becoming more and more prevalent for new operators. The reason they're designing all these skill sets, which I absolutely like, that having talent and skill correlations, these new skill designs, so that they can bring more impact via modules. That was kind of my take, but I do like this kind of designs because it makes the operator feel more whole. But at the same time, when you fail a talent, most likely you're going to fail the whole skill set. Thinking of any particular operator? Okay, so max HP increase and attack increase. So another reason, guys, why I think the talent 1 is not a percentage base. If you think about it, he has max HP increase percentage, and then he also in the same skill has talent 1 effect increase. If it's a percentage based, then increasing max HP already increases how many he gained from his talent. And then if this further increase, it kind of feels, first of all, it kind of feels redundant. And then it also feels overpowered, right? If you think about it, there are a lot of ways you can increase max HP. It's very, very easy to boost that number to high heavens, which makes me stand more with my assumption that it's going to be number based. And then max HP increase and attack increase. Now, unlimited duration. So AFK skills. If we think about Holder, I'm just gonna pull up my Holder reveal. What was his DPH with skill 2 again? Guys, time to remember. Let me pull up my own stats. So Holderer skill 2 has 303,034 DPH with 1,111 DPS. That was kind of miserable. Now let's think about how much it would be. So last time I speculated that I used the attack stat 1,650 for Ulpianus. If we assume it's going to be this way, then how if we want the same DPS of Blaze, which has 1,997, so let's make it through 2,000. If we want a DPS of 2,000, how much attack increase do we need to make that happen? Let's try that and see if it's too ridiculous. Okay, so first of all, we don't know what his talent 2 is. If there's offense related stuff, then it's definitely not going in this speculation. So we still have hope that it's going to be easier to achieve than this, but let's try. So for a DPS of 2,000, he's then going to have to, so he has a 2.5 second attack interval, right? So 2,000 we have to reverse engineer it, right? So 2.5, so that's 5,000 DPH. He's going to have 5,000 DPH. So how many percent of attack increase would that be? 3. So 3 times. So if we have attack plus 200% for this skill, then he will have the same DPS as Blaze skill 2. So let's put that in, okay? Attack plus 200%. Oh my god. Guys. Attack plus 200%. Oh, wait. Right. So, if Holderer gets attack plus 200% with skill 2, then he will reach the same amount of DPS of Blaze. So, this is a very high DPH skill with, at the same time, a DPS that resembles Blaze. That would make this skill really good, but at the same time, I don't think this is going to happen. Alright, but let me tell you about this. Holderer skill 2 is an absolute disaster. I think, 60%, at least 60% of his strength lies in the fact that he will be able to guarantee a stun with his skill 2. So, for Holderer, it was a 40% increase, right? So that means 1.4 times. And then he also have a 140 attack scale against those stunned enemy. So that's just less than 2 times of damage increase. So which means if it's 100, so that means 2 times attack, right? Ulpianus will still be able to out-damage Holderer. And also, don't forget, Holderer also gets his attack interval increased into 3 seconds with this skill. So, it's very likely or even destined that Ulpianus is going to have a higher DPS than Holderer, regardless of anything. Attack plus 100% wasn't too much of an ask, right? So, 1650 times 2 times, right? Divided by 2.5 seconds. That's already higher than Holder. 1111, right? He's 1111. So if there's any extra offense related stuff in his other talent, which he should have, think about Holder. Holder have one survival talent, the Sanctuary. Then he also has a attack scale in his other talent. Hopefully, Ulpianus will get a scale related, so an attack scale or a damage scale. It has to be a scale because they already so Crushers are born with very high based attack, and they usually come with pretty good attack modifiers as well. Think about Holder, he gets plus 120% with skill 3, right? So yeah. So if we factor in, then we think about he also gets max HP increase, so he gets more buff on survival. Talent 1 also more buff on survival. If you compare to Holder, he gets nothing else. He just gets everything that go against his survival with skill 2 for just 1 second stun. Alright, so think about it. What do you guys think? Max HP, how many does he get from this skill 2? Yeah, also think about AH, get all the AH stuff that he gets. Let's do it in this way, guys. So we are going to speculate all the attack related stuffs, and then we are going to do a comparison between based on these stats that we speculated, and do a comparison between Ulpianus on his own and with him in AH team. 50% max HP increase. His talent 2 would be like Palace talent 2? No. Hey, even Palace, she gets two talent, right? Her 2 talents, one of them survival based, the other is also damage based, right? Right. She has a vigor of 25%, right? So 1 aggressive. Usually it's always 1 offense and 1 survival for this kind of operators. 50 HP, 80 to 100% attack. 40. Okay, I think I just missed a question. Let me see. With all this kit, you think Ulpianus will be a decent lane holder even without AH? Lane holder wise, if you think about this skill, it's a warm-up skill, right? It's a warm-up skill that likely, if you think about Blaze, it's going to be 7 SP most likely. All this kind of warm-up skill, they usually has, right? They usually have 70 SP, right? Oh, 60. This is 78 seconds. We talked about it. 69 seconds. Ideally, or others. Usually it's this few, right? Let's just go with Blaze skill 2. So assume that it's going to be the same as skilled Blaze skill 2 with 70 SP of a Crusher staying on the field, doing nothing. We talked about Holder 50 SP skill, still too long as a downtime for a Crusher, because when they don't have skills, they are pretty miserable, right? So if they want to make him strong, they can make this 65, 68. I don't think they would make it 60, but think about a Crusher without his skill on the field. It's pretty painful, really. So there's a lot of stuff that they add to him with this one. Survival, 2 survival related stuff, and then hit count, and then attack plus. I think 100 is pretty guaranteed. Pretty guaranteed. And then max HP increase, so you guys talk about 60. How many? 50? 40? 50? Okay, let's go with 50. So plus 50%. What? Okay. What was it? Which part of it was wrong? What? Which part of it? When? Column? Right? It should be right? Oh, okay. Oh, I think I used the wrong. I was using the Chinese. Alright. So, is this our final call? 1.5. 1.5 times talent increase. So that's like 225, 150. Okay, kind of fair, but then this skill, you know, I really don't know if it will be very good, to be honest. You know, in terms of survival, I just kind of tell, because if it's just like this, and I just don't know why would I use him instead of mountain skill 2. 5-second startup, doing basically the same thing with maybe the similar level of survival, just not being able to hit very high defense enemy. But even with this skill, it was just what? It was just 3,000 ish DPH, which I wouldn't say was too high for. There's definitely something I'm still missing, but can't say which part would they. I think this skill, if it goes with this way, it's kind of underpowered. You know, at least in 2024 standard, it's kind of underpowered. Yes, I see it. It's a yellow icon skill, so it means it's more survival oriented. So how about 2 times, or 1.8 times, 2 times, and then max HP we bumped it up to 70. 70 was pretty high already. That's pretty much close to Holder in his skill 2, in skill 3. This is pretty massive already, but I'm not sure if the sustain would be enough. But hard to tell. Honestly, hard to tell. You know, if you weight this with Holder, and then Holder was definitely a more inferior skill, but if you compare this to Blaze skill 2, Blaze have almost twice as fast attack interval, and then she doesn't have a bad DPH. Blaze have a pretty high DPH as well. If this is a 3,300 damage, it wasn't too much better than Blaze skill 2. But I guess this is kind of fine for a yellow quote-unquote survival skill. Alright, let's keep it this way. And move on to skill 3, okay? So when activated, max HP plus again, attack plus again, immediately dash forward to the furthest tile or upon hitting a target. The dealing percentage of attack as physical damage. This is very scary, because if you think about it, this skill have both attack modifier and as well as a attack scale, which I think is going to create very, very big numbers. Adds physical damage to surrounding enemies and stun them for a few seconds. We move to the destination if it's a deployable tile. Can be manually deactivated, which is absolutely good. And then he'll also return to his original position upon skill ending. So this design is very good. Make this skill at least applicable, but it highly depends on its cycle. So this skill seems like it's not going to last very long. Otherwise, I don't see a very long skill. People use it just to do a very big number and then just turn it off and return. So I think it's not going to exceed 40 SP. My last guess was 25 with 35 with a duration of, I said 15 seconds. That was my last guess. But thinking about this again, I think this skill is very comparable to Jessica's skill. Jessica's skill 3. You can use them in a pretty similar manner. So let's see. Okay. So Jessica's skill is 30-40. And then if you want to use up all the ammos, it takes 36.8 seconds. So I think 25, 35, and how many attacks can you squeeze in if it is a 15-second skill? Oh, what? Oh, sorry. It's 15. 6 attacks. Okay, make it 20. Because you can deactivate it anytime. So this is 8 times. 8 attack. It kind of makes sense. Kind of makes sense. 6 attack would be too little. So my guess is 25 second startup, 35 second cycle with 20 second duration. That makes sense to me. So I'm just gonna go with the same. So first of all, stun time. We have a stun time. I'm just gonna go exactly the same as Jessica. Right? So we'll stun them for 6 seconds. My guess. Bro. So, how many max HP do we get? Do you think more than skill 2 or less than skill 3? Skill 2. I think it's definitely more than skill 2 because this is a burst, kind of like a burst damage skill. You just do in a certain period of time, you become very good, and then you just return and retreat. So it's definitely more than 70 in my guess. 100 would be fair. 150 attack with 300 scale. Okay, I'm gonna go with your take, and then we're going to see how much that's going to be. Okay, all right. So let's go with the guess of this Art YGS1. All right, I'm gonna go with your take. 100% of HP increase, 150% of attack increase, and then 300% of attack as physical damage. Let's see, guys. Let's see. So plus this amount of HP, and then plus this amount of attack, and then we are dealing this amount of scale as physical damage. All right. Okay, 100% HP, 150% attack, and 300. All right, let's see. So 1,650 times plus 150, so that's 2.5, and then 300% scale. My man dash out. I know it's only on impact, but he dash out and deals damage that is twice as Visidel's main attack. Is this reasonable? I think it's still within the definition of reasonable. Is this possible? I think it's possible, but okay, let's go with this. Let's go with this. And then we still have 8 attacks, right? So for 8 attack, he deals 1650 times 2.5 times 8. Not a lot, to be honest. Right? So in total, he's going to deal this amount of damage over the course of 20 seconds. Right? 2,268, that's respectable and honestly okay. It seems legit. To be honest, it seems legit. I know when you say plus 150 and then plus and then deal 300 as a scale, it's going to be a nuke on impact. But turns out it wasn't too over the it wasn't too overly aggressive. This is about when Holder skill 3 crits every time. That's about when he is doing attacking a perma-stunned enemy in his skill 3, 2,268. And that leads me to thinking this is kinda low. Guys, I think we're going to have to rebalance this number and this number. It can keep this, but this seems like it's going to need more tweaks. Right? So how do we rebalance this? How about we do 200 and 250? Right, I'm going to make these relative to, so I'm going to make it so that it changes with my results. So it's going to be 1 plus this times 0.01 times this times 0.01. Right? And then 2.5, 8 times. This is also 1 plus this 1 times 1. Sorry. Alright, so if we change this to what is that, 12k on a hit damage? Because that's wrong number. I don't think there's any more to it, right? Base attack. This is attack modifier, and then this is attack scale for a total of 12k on impact. Yeah. It should be right. Alright, so if we rebalance it into 200 and 250, it's going to be like this. Why is it the same? Alright, it is the same. But he'll now have a higher total damage with his auto attacks during the skill. 200% attack and 150 damage. Okay, so that would be lower than this. 2,598. You know, in terms of this cooldown, wasn't too much over. That wasn't too much, really. That was quite standard. Okay, so let's see 200 and 150%. I don't think it's going to be super high, to be honest. Okay, so the impact damage is going to be 7,425. Interesting. 100%. No. This, to be honest, guys, this attack scale wouldn't be too high because it really would make him a nuke. Because Crushers have extremely high base attack stats. If this is too high, I can further give him Warframe buffs. So even if there's already a lot of attack scales on the paper, I will still give him Warframe, and then he's going to do nuke amount of damage. If it goes with this design, he's going to be the first operator in this game who can deal 5-digit number, so the red number that can pop up with himself in daily mode without any buffs. I don't think there's any operator who can make such a high number in standard mode. There's never been, guys. There's never been. Even Visidel, although she deals a lot of damage in one hit, it was a combination of his main attack, her main attacks, her shockwaves, as well as the explosion from a talent that makes up a very high damage. But her highest DPH was just like 6,600 or something. So if this is true, then Ulpianus will be the first operator to deal 5-digit red number on his own without any buffs in daily. Ever. No one else even come close. You can say, so previously it was like Dorothy has the highest damage per hit potential. This is going to change the game forever. Conviction can do very high, but on his own, he's definitely not going to deal 5-digit number on his own. It's no way. Okay. If this is this possible? I think, you know, if this is to happen, I think give this to a Crusher, it does make sense, because that's the impression. That's our impression with them. They deal very high DPH, but they have a slow attack interval. They will have the smaller DPH, DPS. So is it outrageously what's the word, egregious or something? Is it very out of the line? Not really, but I don't see this attack scale being very high. So I'm going to go with 200, which is the highest that I could possibly think of. 200 and 200, that would be very high as well. You know, think about Visidel. Visidel plus 180% and then deals 220% as a scale. But Visidel only has 800 base attack, and Ulpianus has twice the amount. SP cost has to be higher. If the cycle is even longer, then there will be no point in, you know, making this skill deactivatable as if it was a nuke. You know, if you think about Jessica, you can also just start her skill, do a cannon shot, and then just stop it. So these kind of skills with a burst damage that's very high, I don't see it, you know, because if you think about it, that very high DPH hit is going to be a big part of the total damage, right? So you can't just make it very, very long unless you are intentionally trying to destroy this operator. But yeah, I don't see it go over 35. 35 is actually my expectation of the highest possible. If it goes 40, I don't see. I would see people go with skill 2 as his main skill, as if it wasn't already, because I'm seeing a lot of people who are expecting to use skill 2 as his main skill already. So how do you make skill 3 more competitive? Okay, so so you guys are talking about a longer cycle with a longer duration? Possible, but I don't know. I just expect this skill to be a short cycle burst skill. It occurs to me like it was this way, because especially when this scale, this damage scale is very high, then it must take up quite a lot of damage in this skill. So if this is a very long-lasting skill, then how you dash, when do you stop the skill, will become an even harder choice that leave you with very little room of error. Because if you think about designing this skill, maybe you put him quite far back, and then when he's ready, he dash in, kills a lot of enemy, and then maybe in the meantime he was heavily damaged as well, so he stopped the skill, come back to the main formation, your main where everyone is at. You receive healing at the same time, he recovers SP so that people will come to him. So so maybe for the next skill, he just use the skill and then stay in, when he blocks enemy, he's definitely going to stay in the same place because there's nowhere else he can dash into, right? So I expect how this skill is designed, when you're picking up an enemy right in front of you, you're just gonna stay where you are, right? So you can think of a situation where the first skill used, you dash out, you do a lot of damage, you take a lot of damage, and then you come back, you receive healing, you recover SP, and then because next time you're not dashing out, so the people have to walk, the enemies have to walk to you. When they walk to you, that gives you enough time to recover your SP, right? So maybe for the second skill use, you are using it on the tile you're already on, and you deal big damage again. So this skill, to me, it makes a lot of sense, and it was very interesting to think about. Strategize like what I just said. First skill being out, far out, and then come back, you adjust, you wait for your cooldown, and then next time, because you come back, enemy takes more time to walk to you, so in the meantime you get your SP back, you get your skill back, so you use the skill right on the spot. That makes a lot of sense, right? For example, if you think about, let's think about it. How do I mimic such a situation? Let's think about like this map. You guys seeing this? So let's say this is Gladia, so the right lane is completely covered, and then if I put Ulpianus here, then for the first skill I dash out, kill a lot of people, and then I come back, and then for the next skill, the enemies will have to walk like this. So this gives me time. If there's healer here, I heal myself, as well as when they walk over, by the time they are here again, I will have my skill ready, and next time I just pop. Then because they are just here, I'm just not dashing anywhere, I'm just gonna stay here, kill everyone. This skill makes a lot of sense. It's very flexible. So how do I mimic this? That's a problem. So how about we use Horn? Alright, Horn skill 3. See? 25 and 35, guys. 25, 35. Exactly. Alright, let's go. Alright, let's see. So this is his buff. This is Ulpianus' buffer here. Right, so I deploy Ulpianus, which is 26 cost. Let's go. Right, so let's think about it. Oh, first skill, bang, bang, bang. I just kill everyone. Oh my god. Right? I just dash in. Everyone dies at the objective. Okay, I'm out. Boom, I come back. And then I give myself some time to recover. This guy has to walk to me slowly like stupid little dolls. Right? I have more time to recover. This is fine. This is all fine. And by the time they come back to me, my skill is back again. So let's go. Bang, bang, bang. Okay. Now thinking about it, I think 35 is kind of long. Let's make it 30. Okay, I think you guys get what I mean. If this is Ulpianus, he's good. He's all good. Okay, I think you guys can get what I mean. This is your Ulpianus at home, but right. So I think you guys can get me. So let's call it that. Oh no, don't you? Right. So okay, after this demo, I think I want this to be 30. Oh, let's make it 30, guys. 2030. Guys, this is a 50-second cycle. Make it 2030. It will be good. I should design Ulpianus. Okay. This for a 50 seconds. So what's the cycle DPS? So during 30 seconds, he has what, 12 attacks. So if you count that into it as well. So this plus 1650 plus this times anything else? 20. I mean, what? How many was it? 20? God, I keep forgetting. 12. So the cycle DPS was like over 50 seconds. Not too good. Actually, not very high, but this is expected from a Crusher. At least it's better than Holder with his skill 2. 2030 might be a bit strong considering you can turn it off. Yes, but if you want to make him strong, this is how you do it, right? What is? Okay, 12. Right. Okay, so let's wrap up, guys. Let's wrap up and see his damage. So we're going with the assumption that I'm not going to go over skill 1 then. Then we have skill 2 with 70 SP warm up skill. Talent 1.8 times. Let's go with that. Block plus 1, max HP plus 70, attack plus 100%. Then we have skill 3. Let's predict. It's going to be 20/30, 20-second skill. What is his damage? So, first, it's skill 2. Skill 2 DPH, which is this number times 100%, right? So 2. Just make it. I'm just going to get with this one. Skill 2 DPS. Is this one? So 2.5. This is theoretical, okay? 2.5, which is not a lot to be honest. Skill 3. DPH, skill 3 dash damage, skill 3 total damage, skill 3 DPS. Right, so it's just copy the codes. This is dash damage. This is DPH. Actually, we need to start over. Times. It's just this one. Sorry. 5,000 DPH. Is it? Hey guys, this is not as high as Holderer when he stuns, but it's close. Holderer does like 5,100 or something when he stuns in skill 3. So 4,950. Okay, I will give it a pass. This is total damage. And this is DPS. So this is based. Pull it down a little bit more. Down. So this is based on the fact that without, so he's alone, and without, most importantly, without knowing, so completely ignoring what his talent 2 does. So unless his talent 2 has absolutely zero offensive stuff inside of it, it's going to be even higher than this. Okay, so now let's calculate when he's in AH. So in AH, his base attack stats will be this. Actually, I can't do it like that. Let's just calculate it manually, right? So other than the, what is it, 100% from skill 2, he also has 0.24 from Skadi, right? But that's all. So this is within AH. In AH we trust. Is there more? There's also these 1.05% from Spectre based, right? And then he also has, and then for DPS calculation, he also has 2.0333. Let's go with that. With Andriana, right? Okay, so with AH, he's almost base skill 2. He's almost base skill 2. And this is DPH, so there's no consideration for attack interval, right? Alright, next. Skill 3, DPH. Let's just calculate it. In 1650, we have a, what was it again? 200% attack scale, attack modifier, and then we have 0.24 from Skadi. We have 1.05 more from Spectre. Oops. Each hit is 700 more damage. Dash damage 1650 times 1 plus 2 plus 0.24 times 1.05 times, what was it, 200%, 2 times. Oh my gosh. Total damage. This times 8 plus this. 2.0333. Oh wait, what? No. 20, sorry. Wait, not right. So it was 20 seconds. So if you are 2.0333, it's likely to be 10 attacks. Okay, 10 attacks. Okay, we should calculate this way. 10 attacks over 20 seconds. Sorry. Oh my god. 3,367 DPS for a crusher. This DPS is more than the Holderer's DPH in skill 2. Is this outrageously strong? Not really, because if you consider it, so this is all offensive stuff. So if you only want the offensive part, you can you can just put Skadi and Spectre and Andriana, and you can skip Spalter and Gladia. No, it's going to be 10 attacks because it's so like you're seeing this 9.8 and you think it should be 9 because the last one didn't happen, but actually most of the time when it's 9.8 it's likely to be 10 attacks. Maybe if Ulpianus has a really long force swing or you can say startup animation, maybe it would be 9, but most of the time for normal calculations, if it's 9.8, most likely it's going to be 10 attacks. You can do it, you can just do it, how do you do it? You can just factor in, you just go into actual maps and try it out. For example, let me think of an example. Let me think. So how long is so Lapland skill 2 is 20 seconds with an attack interval of 1.3. So 20 seconds 1.3 is 15 attacks. Let me see if I have a friend with Lapland module. I think I will have. Alright, so guys, hear me out on this. So let's go back to the calculations. Where's the calculation? So Lapland gets 6 attack speed from her module. Is it 6? Alright. This is a actual practice 101. 6 attack speed, right? 6 attack speed from her module. So if we calculate this in Excel, so we need to round it up. So 1.3 seconds, 30 frames, with 1.06. So that's 37 frames. So 37 frames means 1.233. So over the course of 20 seconds, I hope you guys are still following. It was 16.2. This doesn't say anything. If it's so, I'm trying to tell you that if it's around 15.9 or 15.8, it's going to be 16 attacks. But it depends on the startup. It depends on the startup. So for 15.3, it's most likely going to be 15 attacks. But for 16.2, it's going to be 16 attacks. Let's just, okay, I give up. So if it's 9 attacks, then it would be a little bit lower, but most likely it's going to be 10 because 9.8 is pretty close. It depends on his startup animation time, okay? So yeah, this is the stats overall from our take here. If you add in Spalter, then this skill is going to become what? Oh, this is going to become a 20 SP skill, which is insane. Which will make this skill insane. Think about it. And also, if you think about it, if you have Gladia, and then skill 2 passive recovery with a Gladia, so nothing here, nothing when he's alone, but with Gladia, it was, what did we speculate last time? I keep forgetting. How many HP do we expect him to have? Holder max HP is 6,738. So we went with 6,800 last time, right? Alright, so 6,800. We said that this is a max HP plus 70%. So that's 1 plus 70% plus 20% from 20% from Skadi module Y, 0.33 from from Spalter module. That is times 0.035. No! My man is within skill 2 with Gladia and Spalter, and so the whole AH team. He has a Telopsis healing him in skill 2 permanently. No. Skill 3 passive recovery. Oh no, this is not going to happen. What did we said? 1 plus 100%. 0.2, 0.33 times 0. Oh my god. This is the best medic. What else medic do you want? Gladia and the whole AH team is just his best medic. Don't forget he also recovered 100 per hit on his own. How does he even get killed? With 30% damage reduction. And it also stacks with Sanctuary. You put a Shu next to him, heal him for once. And he's got what? 0.7%. Shu has what? 17%. He's got 42% of damage reduction with 600 HPS. And he also heals 100 every time he gets hit. How does he die? He doesn't die. And this is all without us knowing what his actual talent 2 will be. He doesn't. Yes, he doesn't die. Right? So this is the conclusion that we have today. 3,000 plus a DPS within the whole HH team. Fair for... I mean, this is just groundbreaking for Crusher. But if you think about him individually, this is just around a bit better than Hodora. So the main factor that we need to look at is, because I think plus 200 and 200 times, my guess is that this has a chance to go even higher. So attack modifier, it has a chance to be even higher. 250, I can see it happen. This, however, I don't see it having. So this is the maximum I think that would happen. Maybe it would be like 150. I would take that. I would take those, especially if you consider his other talent. If it has anything to do with offensiveness, it's going to be massive for him as well. You know, what if he, for example, he deals what could be a talent 2? For example, he deals 150% attack as physical damage to enemies with more than 1,000 defense, or enemies with... So if it's a similar talent to Gladia, deals 150% as attack to enemies with weight more than 3, that will absolutely explode. His damage will skyrocket. Think of it. If this thing further times a 1.5 scale, you think about it. What? Okay, don't even think about it. But we don't know if there's another attack scale or something. It's just going to go even higher. So overall, let me conclude. Skill 1, I think basically this. Skill 2, talent 1, I think maybe between 1.5 times to 2 times. And then max HP, I think from 50 to 100, 50 to 80. I think attack, I think this is the minimum he should get. Think about being on the field 70 seconds. Even with, you know, Spouter, it's still going to be 46 seconds. That's pretty long, to be honest. It should be more than 100, to be honest, for this skill to be good. I'm predicting, okay, 80, maybe 80, from 80 to 150. So 80 to 150, that would make sense. Skill 3, max HP, I think about 100, maybe 120. Attack, maybe 200 to 250. And for attack scale, it's most likely 150 to 200. Stun time, I think 6 seconds is pretty fair, considering if this skill is spammable, like this. So 6 seconds for a 20-second duration. That's like a lot. 1/3, close to a third. Yeah, but I don't see him being bad. I don't see the chance of him being bad. I think he's definitely going to be better than Holderer. I think this is a nail in the coffin already. I'm sorry, Holderer, but I don't see any chance of Ulpianus being any worse than him. You know, even without considering AH, Ulpianus is definitely going to be very good. And then, yeah. So, if this skill ends up being a mess, people can go back to skill 2. Having a unlimited duration skill is already a W. Big W for a lot of players. They just couldn't move their legs when they see unlimited duration. People just stop thinking when they see unlimited duration. Okay, so at least he has something to cling on to. For Holderer is skill 3, but Ulpianus is skill 3 unless they mess up with the cycle. Otherwise, I don't see it being very bad. Even if this is just 100% and then 150% with, like, even with this, still not bad. If it keeps this cycle. Alright, if it keeps this cycle, it will be bad. It will be bad. But I don't think it's going to be this little, because this is definitely going to be 200 plus. Alright, this is the worst. What you're looking at, this is the worst. I still have the same DP, almost the same DPS as Holderer. In fact, this is higher. Holderer is 2296 if his perma binding, perma stunning someone in skill 3 for a whole 70 seconds. He's attacking a stunned enemy. He only deals 2296. But with these, Ulpianus already deals 2351 as DPS. He's not going to be weak. And this skill design, you guys look at remember the demo, the fake, the mock-up that I just did with Horn. It makes sense, right? It does make sense. Alright, that's my take, guys. This is almost it. We're almost there. I think we are going to get the module preview tomorrow. It's going to be tomorrow, right? It's either tomorrow or the day after. So we're almost there. I am going to get this man to full potential. Is this the quickest power creep? So how about Vigil and Muses? That was 3.5 anniversary and 4 anniversary. That was 6 months. Which one do you think is better? Is it Vigil or is it Muses? Man, this is gacha game in a nutshell. I hate to break this to you, but this is gacha games. Well, at least Viviana haven't got her module, right? Viviana still haven't got a module. But Viviana really feels like a missed opportunity. But at least both of her skills, her skill 2 and skill 3 has, you know, correlation, has synergies with the talent. So when they buff her talent, there's a chance that she can get better, like drastically. We are seeing, you know, if you look at the modules that we get in the 5th anniversary, all of them have 30, 40 plus 40% plus improvement. If you dream the same for Viviana, well, she already has a skill that does 80k damage, right? 40% more. What's that? You do the calculation, okay? She can be good. She can be good, but they have to. There's a lot of direction they can go. Some of them not going to help her a lot. Some of them can help with her quite a lot. So it depends on where they can go. For example, how about give her a burn module, for example. Give her a burn module, but now thinking about it, she doesn't have resistance shred on herself, so herself triggering burn wasn't that much efficient. So man, the problems with this elemental module is that when you don't have the damage to start with, you also don't proc the elemental burst efficiently enough. This kind of module is like, when you're good, it's a win-win. When you're bad, it's a lose-lose. If you look at Logos, he's so good that he procs Necrosis burst efficiently. But if you think of who's that? If you think of Ifrit, who's likely to get her burn module, Ifrit doesn't deal a lot of damage. If it's still 8% of damage done translated to elemental impairment, it's not going to be good for Ifrit. She's not going to trigger the elemental burst efficiently on her own. She can only trigger burst on very low resistant enemies, but at that point, why do you even bring Ifrit? You are bringing Ifrit to shred enemies' rest, but you can only shred their rest if they have little rest. That's a negative loophole. Oh, I don't know. So a lot of people are hype about Ifrit's module, but honestly, I don't have very high hope for it. This is a win-win or lose-lose loophole that if they do not change, because when they designed this kind of module, it was always for casters. It was always based on their damage dealt. So if you don't already deal a lot of damage, you don't trigger burst efficiently. So if you are good, you are better. If you are bad, you're not doing both jobs well. That's very unfortunate, but at the same time, I also can't say that I have a better idea for it, because you have, in the end, you have to distinguish between ritualists and actual casters that deal damage, right? So maybe in the end, modules are just a candy for you that makes you feel better, but at the end of the day, if you want elemental damage, you have to go for the ritualist. You have to go for a ritualist, or if you want actual elemental damage, you have to go to primal casters. So are you guys following my logic there? Do you guys get what I mean about the problems with these kind of modules? Yeah, what you are seeing here right now, guys, it's all speculation, and that's basically it. This is the damage that we speculated. Hopefully he's better than this, because if, to be absolutely honest, if it's like this, he's going to be just around the level of, I'd say, maybe 佐乐, or a bit better than him. But if he was to be as good as, you know, operators that they release over 2024, you know, those, because in my honest opinion, 佐乐, although he's very good, he turns out to be the weakest that have been released after 2024. Maybe, you know, in my opinion, he's the weakest, and he's not bad. 佐乐 is not bad, but in 2024, it's quite obvious that they want a overall new, you know, they want to shake up the whole ranking by placing all the new operators on top and just squeezing everyone down. So they have a new meta system, kind of like that. So hopefully Holderer would be like at least middle of the pack in 2024. So the level of Ascalon is very good, to be honest, guys. She's very good, and she's underrated, to be honest. And I hope he can be at least middle of the pack. And with AH, he can finally, you know, realize what their full potential is. But yeah, like, skill 3 is fun regardless. From what we're seeing right now, as long as the cycle wasn't too effed up, like if they do something like it's not going to be 40-50. 40-50 would be a crime. 30-40 would already be a massive blow. 30-40, or so they make it into a 30-second skill. That would defeat the overall design, really. So I don't think this is possible. I'm still going to go with 20-30 and then 20 seconds. And then hopefully he get a good talent too. That's basically it. That's basically it. Yeah, 佐乐 is not bad, guys. 佐乐 is not bad. He's good, but he's in 2024. And 2024 is packed with operators that, if you look at them in 2022, in 2023, you would say, whoa, that's insane. But that's the new norm for 2024. Welcome to the 6th years of Arc Knights. Okay, that's basically it. I haven't had my dinner yet, and it's 8 p.m. I think this stream is ending here. Alright. Overall, thank you guys for coming. And right, it seems that I still have some Lord module showcase to do, but I haven't started yet. Let's hope that June would have more time reserved for me to do, to let me just release all the videos in time. So thank you guys for coming. This is basically it for this stream. Right, bye bye. I'm going to dinner. Bye bye.